Happy Friday. How is everyone?
Happy Friday. I
Let
love
us
this
know in the chat
community.
where you're joining from. Hey, Joey, good to see you. Lance is here from rainy Vancouver.
It's a little bit rainy in Minneapolis this morning, Jason. And Bailey told me as I was driving her to school, she likes it. It makes her feel mysterious.
Wow, interesting.
Bailey,
That's a good
Bailey feeling
positive.
mysterious. It's a
That could
good
be
vibe.
dangerous. That could be
It could be.
dangerous. It could be. Charlene, how are you? Let us know you're here, you guys. Please put your name in the chat. Please let us know where you're joining from if you haven't already. Hi, Dorothy, Joey, Chris, Anna. And if anyone's new, would love for you to. This is a very interactive community. This is a very interactive event. Don't get scared away. You don't have to. Stanley, good to see you. Um, but we're gonna have some fun today, as we always do on Fridays. And here come the AI assistants. Here come all
Yes.
the agents. Here come all the agents filing in. Jess,
Jason, I have a big
agents in the back. Agents to the back. Agents
back.
to the back. Yeah, yeah.
And then at the bottom of the hour, they all like update or something happens at 30
They have
minutes.
a they have a short life. Then they have to re they become reborn.
I have a big job ahead of me, Jason. And maybe it's not a big
Ooh,
job. I don't know. I'm
let's
firing
hear.
my assistant and
Which
hire,
assistant?
and hiring a new one.
Oh, man.
I'm going to convert because I have to. I just need to make the time to do it. I'm going to convert from ChatGPT to Claude. Full time.
Oh,
Full time. What do you think?
Jess,
There's like a whole process I have to go through because everything, like I have big projects, I have a lot of voice, I have a lot of stuff.
I have an amazing guide for you on that.
Okay.
Yes, it worked
It's like
really
a
well for me.
course.
It worked really, really well for me.
I
Um,
okay, Lance, I might be coming for you. I have saved a bunch of things that I have found to tell me how to do it and how to get my files out and all of that stuff. How to let one coach me to do the other.
I like that you said you're firing your assistant. That's interesting. That's an interesting. We could have a long conversation about that. What you just
hmm
said.
hmm
Um, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey Jess, it's good to see you.
Yeah,
How's your
good.
Friday? Minneapolis,
Good.
rainy?
It is a little rainy this morning, so Bailey is mysterious. It'll be a good day for everybody she interacts with now. She's pretty excited. She got a new K-pop album last night. It's Good Friday all around. Everybody here is happy.
That's good. Do you know where I'm at?
I'm guessing you might be coming home from Charleston, but that background doesn't look familiar.
No, I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not coming home from Charleston. Both
You
of
are
those are
home,
wrong. Nope, not home.
not home. So you diverted. You're going somewhere else for the weekend. Are you choosing
Nope.
sun for the week? No. Okay, I'm wrong,
Just
wrong, wrong.
I am in Elon, North Carolina.
You are?
Yes, Elon, North Carolina. I wonder if anyone knows where Elon, North Carolina even is. But oh, home of the
He's all over
Flames.
it.
Yes, the it is. I am here, Jess, for Phoenix Friday.
And what might that be?
Joey's gonna know. I wonder if anyone else knows. Yes. So Phoenix, Elon, the University of Elon in North Carolina, they're called the Elon Phoenix. And
Wow.
today is Phoenix Friday. So as Alex is down to his last couple schools, he's deciding on this is one of them. So I'm in a full day immersion, dorm room,
Wow.
food, which I can understand uh, did you do the freshman 15? Oh,
I, I
that's probably a personal question.
I
Sorry.
did, and thankfully I did the sophomore 15 the other way as well. So
Yeah,
I evened out. It took a couple
I
of
was
years.
just watching all this food here that people are eating. I'm like, holy cow! I mean, I went to school at night, so I didn't really do the freshman 15 thing. I mean,
Mm.
but it's crazy how much food they feed these kids. I guess they have to, right?
Actually, I think I evened out my sophomore year because I studied abroad, and guess what they do abroad? Walk everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So it all worked
So
out.
no one's chatting. Like, does not anyone know where
I know they're waiting.
Elon, North Carolina is? Chris got unlimited ice cream. Yes, I saw the unlimited ice
Yeah.
cream. I saw these stacks of desserts. I don't really eat desserts, but it doesn't surprise me that the 15 is actually something.
Yeah.
So for those of you that have never been here before, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you in the back, excuse me, that are back, we always start with green, yellow, red. How are you today? Green, great. Yellow, so-so. Red, not so good. I love going through this process with my son. So
Mm.
I'm very green today. It's 82 and sunny, just so you know,
Where you are?
in Elon, North Carolina.
Wow. I'm
Yes,
jealous.
yes, we've got three greens and a bunch of people who are not participating. I think I'm just going to drop off this call.
They're just
No, I'm
waiting to
just
be
kidding.
entertained.
Yeah, so yes, Frank
Yes, they would.
Green, Lance Green, Stanley Green, Rachel Green, yellow. Oh, Rachel, Jessica. Sorry, sorry that
Mm.
you're not feeling well. Yellow. Murphy the cat is green. Thank God we got cat participation. Hey, Jess,
Oh.
you know anything about one-eyed cats, by the way?
The random questions we come up with on this thing. Elizabeth is here. I don't know a single thing about one-eyed cats. I did have a three-legged dog growing up, if that helps translate
Yeah, I
anything.
mean, I learned a whole bunch about one-eyed cats last night. I'm not going to even go into the story because we have very limited time today. But one-eyed cats are a thing. Steve,
Wow.
why is Steve yellow?
Hmm.
Um, Sorry, Steve.
Steve, we even faded the music for you this time.
Kim Bryant's here. Mark Miller's here. This is a
Oh,
Kristen Nordling's here. This is an awesome group. Uh, wow, six toes.
that
Yeah,
was it goes.
yeah.
Wow.
I have a family member who's thinking about getting a, a hairless one-eyed cat.
Oh God. Like I want to like cats. I don't know if I can like cats, and especially a one-eyed hairless cat. Like, aren't you supposed to cuddle with cats or something? Like
Well,
how
yeah,
is
I think
that
you just cuddle
cuddle?
with a one-eyed hairless Sphinx cat.
Oh
So
my.
when this person was telling me about their one-eyed cat, I hairless, I had to actually like do some research, and that cats can live just fine with one eye. They're just as
Well,
happy.
yeah. They don't know any different. Well, unless they just lost. Oh, this is
This was part of the prep call. This was part
this
of our prep call, right? Like what we were going to talk about today. Sorry, random
cats
stuff
aren't
on my
always
mind.
cuddlers. I should know
Jess,
that, Cindy.
yes, Jess. Yeah, cats are sometimes not cuddlers, but this
Yeah.
person that I'm talking about wants the cat as a cuddle cat. So I don't think it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And it's not me, just for the record. Hey, I'd love to hear about your one big thing, everyone, this week. One big thing or oh shit moment. Um, we already saw one. We had a winner in the one big thing, which was well, Frank was finishing a project. Dorothy, I have to call out your redness.
Mhm.
Your daughter and grandkids live in Dubai. I'm so sorry to hear that. Jess and I have some colleagues in Dubai as well that I've been checking in with daily. It's a crazy time. Uh, that's all I can say. And about that, I don't want to go into much. Don't want to go into much more probably because it'll take away the whole conversation towards that. Which I'm not saying that's a good topic that we
Mm.
shouldn't be talking about. But Dorothy, in thoughts.
Yeah. I love it. Richard's trying to turn an OSM into an OBT, an O shit moment into a one big thing. More power to you. I know I normally share one big thing. I am going to share an oh shit moment, Jason. I was on the road this week. I got to go to Louisville, Kentucky. I'm trying to do better. Every time I go, they coach me on how to say Louisville properly, and I still don't do it. I don't do it justice. Anyway, I was at GE Appliances and our Mercer offices in that fine city. Thank you, Joey. And then I went to Palo Alto to a different event. So I was on the road I had three speakers.
Louisville and Palo Alto, they're very similar.
Very, very different. Uh, and every time I speak, I do a similar version of the same opening, mostly because it's fascinating to see how it changes over the weeks and months. It's kind of like red yellow. It's almost like a fan or foe. How are we doing on AI, fan or foe? But this time I started a little differently. I was in a room full of chief risk officers. So the audience matters here. chief risk officers for Silicon Valley tech companies. So that audience demographic probably matters here. But knowing my audience, I started my question a little differently. Who's using AI? Duh, everybody's hand goes up. Using AI means nothing necessarily. Who loves AI? Half the hands drop. Literally half the hands in a room of 300 risk professionals. Who uses it? Who loves it? Half the hands drop. Who trusts it? Every single hand in the room went down. Who trusts it?
Wow.
Every single hand in the room went down. Now, granted, I gave you the audience because risk professionals are trained not to trust, not to trust easily, or to be a little more discerning in their judgment. But since I'm there to talk to them about the human risk side of AI, like I felt like I just needed to drop the mic and walk out. Like that's the whole presentation. That's where we're at. That's the whole presentation. So that was a little bit of an oh shit moment.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I mean, I did a podcast late last night that I recorded that I think dropped earlier this morning. It's got stuck in the system somewhere probably, but was talking a lot about this concept of adoption versus embodiment, and
Yeah,
trust is such a big part of embodiment to me. That it's just really really key. So I completely agree with you, and I think that's going to be. I think that's one of the big things we have to that a lot of we all have to work on. Um,
yeah.
I was just really quickly, my one big thing is going to tie together, interestingly enough. I was at a client site in Philadelphia this week, and I have never seen anyone hate their software vendors so much. Um, like literally
Yikes.
everything, every single, and these are brand name vendors. I'm not going to go
Yeah.
into it. Um, but literally, these are all top vendors in the space. And what's so fascinating to me is the hate of the vendors is changing by the second. I mean, it used to be, hey, I don't like the user interface.
Hmm.
Okay, then it was, okay, it's too inflexible. Then it was, it's too expensive. Now, the thing I heard this week, which was so fascinating, and it brought back some old memories, and it's probably a good topic for our guest today as
Yeah.
well, is I was sitting in one of the sessions with a vendor who will remain nameless, and they said, "Do you remember?" I thought this was fascinating, Jess. They said, "Do you remember when you used to pay for your cell phone by the number of minutes you consumed?"
Hmm.
And literally, they asked people to raise their hands, and only one person or two people did out of 20 people. And like I remember there was like a 1,200-minute plan, 900-minute plan, six
Or
hundred
let's
minute
even
plan.
go further back when my parents got the long distance phone bill. They'd scream, Jesse! Because
So
I have
there are
friends who were long distance.
yeah, so in a crazy discussion, that is how two of the
Oh,
top HCM vendors are now charging. And they both used that analogy. So
wow.
by the minute usage
Yeah,
is how many times the agent is talking to their database.
yeah.
And they're charging based on the number of times an agent talks to their database on top of how they're already charging per employee per month or per employee per year. So they're charging per employee per month or per employee per year. And then if you want to be able to access the data through an agent, you then pay a number of minutes or number of API calls
Seems, yeah.
into that
And yet we
database.
tie value to usage.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, I just think it's I think it's a big, big, big discussion going forward. And these are two vendors that you guys both, everyone would know,
Mm,
um, that Jess, you and I do work with a lot.
yeah.
So I was just like, and what's interesting is that in the room for the first time, there was this conversation like, we're not going to pay that on top of our per employee per year because our employees aren't using the tools anymore. And the vendor had I mean, this was a salesperson, nothing against salespeople, but this was a salesperson. They had no answer. Like they're
Mm,
literally like, well, this is added capability. And they're like, well, yeah, but it's not your capability. Like I had to add the capability through Claude or Copilot or WhatsApp. and all you're doing is charging me to give permission to another agent to talk to your data, on top of what I'm already paying. So it was funny. Two of the people in the room said, "Why don't we just write our own?" And I was like, "Here we go."
Mm.
So I think this is a fascinating time, and yes, they're paying for the agent, Lance. Funny, but also paying for the how many minutes or calls the agent makes. So I think that this is, this whole SaaS apocalypse conversation and how pricing is going to change. I saw it live for the first time this week. Um, so I think that there's a
And in a room full of chief risk officers, interestingly enough, they're all asking me how they trace risk through the maze. It's a very good question, and I don't have great answers because we also tell everybody to hide the wires. It should be embedded in infrastructure. It should be part of your intelligence layer. That's what we're used to from a software perspective. But then when you're so embedded and integrated in every workflow, it becomes very, very difficult to tell when something stops and starts and
Oh,
who's
what a fascinating
responsible.
discussion.
It,
I'm not going to talk about this right now, but I think there's better tools to monitor what agents do than how IT builds integrations. I think the risk people are going to be happier long term, but I think
yeah,
that there's a whole different, it's a whole different discussion. It's a whole,
it
whole,
is.
whole, whole different
It is.
discussion that I don't want to get into. Today were one big things because that was, sorry, I opened up a can of worms there that has no, that is a can of worms, that we're going to have to talk about again, and it's going to keep coming up over and over again. Um,
And
any
Mark's
other?
comment is interesting. I
Sorry.
get the question more, I guess, like such esoteric questions when I do these. I mean, you probably do too, Jason, when you give these AI. I'm like, do you want the doom talk, the hype talk? Should we float somewhere in between? Are we just being real here? Because there's like a little of everything in the soup these days. And the question I'm getting more and more is what are we actually doing here? Like, what is the end game? What is the end game? And Mark's comment, Musk floating the idea that, like, do we not have to work anymore? Or I just get up and set all my agents in the morning and then I go garden and do yoga. And I don't like whatever the end game is an organizational question right now.
Well, and just if I could, and I want to get onto our guest, but
Yeah.
to me, it's a societal question, and
Yes. I hope it would be.
I want to tie Mark's question back to, I saw it in the chat, and Steve Jewell, who Steve and I, like, it seems like every single week we have this conversation or a
Yeah.
different flavor of the conversation. We need to get together in Minneapolis for like a discussion sometime. But when he said 92,000, what did he say? Something about 92,000 jobs this morning. Shocking. 90. Oh, yeah. Oh, there was a shocking decline of 92,000 jobs last month. Like,
Hmm.
and I'm just going to say this, and Steve, once again, this is when Steve and I go back and forth. There is nothing shocking about that number to me, and anyone that, not you, Steve, but if people are shocked by that, this is just the start. So
Yes.
I have said this before. This is going to be the number one issue in the 2028 presidential election. I'm holding to it. Every single month, we're just going to see this. There's like, until something blocks the dam. The
Mm.
government says we're going to start reporting on how many people we're laying off because of AI. There will have to be something that changes this. Otherwise, there's nothing that's going to change that trend.
Right. Nor should. Oh, we got to get on. Like, this is the Darwinism of work, you guys. Like, we shed our snake skin and we, become the next version of what the work and labor market, the workforce and labor market, and like this is a natural Darwinism of work. It's just happening like way faster and to a bigger extreme than it ever has before.
Yeah, and it's impacting budgets. It's impacting, an annual budget cycle when all of a sudden I've got agentic flying as fast as it is and people adopting it,
Yeah.
not embodying it well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's moving so fast, and that's where it's really fascinating to be watching this happening. as we're speaking it. Jess and I are speaking a lot on this at our AI summit that we're doing at Unleash. That I hope some of you have the opportunity to be there.
And yes,
Um,
to mapping all the risks. Yes, yes, yes. So much more to say about this.
let's bring on our guest because we
Yeah,
could we got into two topics there:
I
jobs
know.
and pricing of software that
Oh
could
my
literally
God.
each be a whole series of episodes.
Yeah. Yes, they could be. And I'm sure Anna has like several things to say about several things. You look so fantastic in your red, Anna. It's so good to see you again.
I'm matching the Sarah Larson tone. It's all pink.
I love it. It is pink. Yes.
Anna, it's good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good to see you. I'm so happy to be here. It feels
It
like
Oh,
this
is.
the living room conversation. I love it.
I know. I know. It really is.
Well, we haven't cursed yet, Anna. So, but we may. Hey, is that an aura ring you're wearing?
Yay.
Yes, yes,
So Aura is from Finland. I also have my Moomin. Okay, Moomin cup. Where is it here? Do you see
Yeah.
Moomin?
yes.
But that's Finland. I'm from Sweden, but Scandinavia at least.
Yeah.
I'm representing. I'm representing.
So
I
Anna,
love
I was so excited to see you. I was in a session today earlier with this. I think maybe you heard I was visiting my son's a potential school for my son, and they asked us to scan a QR code if we had
Mm,
questions. And I
mm.
scanned the QR code with my camera, and I was like, I know this is going to be Menti. I know this is going to be Menti. And it was forms.office.com. And I was
Oh.
so
You were
disappointed.
Oh.
disappointed.
But
Oh,
I was like, oh my God, this is exact like this is gonna be this is like
they are
so
coming for us. They are coming for us.
but I have to say the experience is nothing like yours. Like Jess knows that in the class I teach in Charleston, like I use Menti every week.
Oh,
So it's nothing, it's a completely
Mhm.
different experience. But welcome, Anna. I'd love to
thank
Jess,
you.
go ahead. I'll turn it over to you.
No, Anna would love everybody to know, not just like obviously you're with Mentimeter, but maybe your role and like the how you got into this role and like the whole story.
Whole story. Okay, so I'm Anna. I work. I have the honor to work as Chief People and Culture Officer at Mentimeter. Mentimeter is an everyday engagement tool that, yeah, Jason is using it for when he's teaching, and a lot of leaders are using it for engaging leadership, communication, trainings, facilitation, and a lot of other things. Okay, it's my first job in HR, and it's my first job at a tech company. So my first 12, 15 years in my career was in digital marketing, working at like a web agency, digital agency with a lot of digital marketing in Scandinavia. And very quick career, project manager, chief operating officer, CEO for one agency, CEO for another agency, and all that. But then I felt that I wanted to pivot my career. And I wanted to go back to my roots. And my roots, it's about a school. I don't know if that many in the US knows about this school, but it's called Hyper Island. And it's a school that I went to when I was between 22 and 24. And this school is all about the power of a team, like what you can do when you are a team working together. And
Wow.
also, yeah, and also like this thing that, you know, this magic that happens when you get a team to really like glue and work, and when you just raise the bar together and you have this like magic team performance moments. So the school was about digital marketing and digital business ideas, but it was all about like putting together cross-functional teams, one programmer, one designer, one strategist, one like, and then you got like a really hard task to solve. Like
Mhm.
investors will come to the school 3 weeks from now. You are going to pitch a digital business idea and just go and work. Uh, and this was early days, no iPhone, as you know. We had Google at that point. But this school had no teachers. They had only, okay, so maybe this is interesting for you, Jason. No teachers. They only had facilitators.
Wow.
So the idea was that, and they took in people from the business to give some lectures, of course. But the whole idea was like, do you want to know anything? You go and get it. If there's something you're not understanding, you Google it, or you phone that professor at that school, or you book a meeting with that chairman, or whatever it was. So it learned me this, like, if I want something in life, I will go and get it. And information is all over. Information is distributed, is for
Yeah.
everyone.
Like
So
oxygen.
yeah, so why can't I be as good as other people? There's like no limits. So yeah. So going back to my roots,
Wow.
I mean, like going back to like leadership, when you have common values, when you have the drive, like working with teams. And that was what I felt so much that I want to go more deeper into. So then I pivoted into HR and I started that at Mentimeter. And maybe what you were referring to is also that our very modern CEO, Johnny, he also went for parental leave for half a year a few years ago. And I was appointed the interim CEO during that time. So that was also like a big thing for the HR community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hmm?
You know,
I love
Anna,
that you call him
what
very modern because he took parental leave. I love Johnny. Good for you, Johnny. And good for you for letting Anna come in and lead. And now you co-lead in a different way. That's, yeah, what a
Yeah.
modern concept.
Yeah. And imagine how much better I am as a chief HR officer when I have had
When you,
that job for half a year as well. Hmm?
yeah.
so Anna, one of the things that is so fun to have people like you on this is that you find out things about them that you would have never known.
Mm.
And Jess and I had fun actually building a little agent, an AI agent, to
Okay.
learn some things about our guests, because we're like, well, instead of just asking the guests, let's build the agent and then let's actually see if the agent is right.
Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
Okay, so
I'm ready.
here's a question for you, and this could work or it could not work. Tell me
Hmm.
about Break It.
Break it. Okay. Yeah, I was the SaaS leader of the year. So software as a service leader of the year a few years ago. Maybe that one. Or I was also
Oh,
like writing I was also writing columns for Break It. And Break It
Yes,
is
our
uh,
agent said that you were a columnist for Break It, Sweden's
exactly.
biggest tech publication,
Exactly.
wow.
Sorry, I
and
should
that
say
you
what it is.
and that you chair the steering committee at Hyper Island, where you originally studied.
Yes, all true.
Yes.
The agent
I
knows
love
it.
that. I love that concept. Like I'm actually still thinking about that higher education concept because Jason and I get questions about this all the time. He's actively teaching at a university about what the heck are young people going to do. I quoted the Gen Z unemployment rate of 10% at least 15 times this week. Some are
Hmm.
predicting the Gen Z unemployment rate will be over 25% in the next few years. So if we're wondering how to reform and
Hmm.
replace, I also used the word replace a few times and then I had to correct myself. I don't mean like replace ourselves. I mean replace ourselves in the future of work. How do we
Hmm.
advise people who are being displaced to replace yourself in the new future of work? And what you described we that education system was doing in the early 90s, we probably need to reimagine some concepts, like teach everybody to be their own teacher, teach us
Yeah.
all how to seek knowledge, information, distribute it
Hmm.
among ourselves,
Yeah.
crowdsource things. Like there has to be a little scrappiness and agency that
Hmm.
maybe we've forgotten, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit, and will be really useful to us moving forward.
But isn't that also what's happening right now with AI? That like all the people who are in the forefront, who are using the Claude, who are like coding and vibe coding and like all
Yeah.
they have an advantage, and because they're just going for it. And I think it was the same when I was studying, but it's just that at that point it was Google. If you just like understood that you had everything you need there, and you were in the forefront. And now it's something else, but it is also an accelerating technology, so it's harder to keep up for sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
Anna,
we have
I
a
have a
Labo
question.
in Stockholm as well. I guess you heard about that company. I think they are doing a massive marketing campaign in the US right now.
So Anna, I want to take us down a little bit of a different track, if I could, because one of the things that, and I, this, one of the things that people are talking about a lot, and I'm curious as to this, is that, and I'm going to say this, and it's not going to come out right, but coding is going away.
Mm.
Coding's going away in the way that we
Hand
know it.
coding.
Yeah, exactly. Hand coding, or the coding's changing to engineering. And as a people leader at a very, very successful software company, how are you dealing with that? And how do you frame that to people? I mean, are you, 'cause this isn't the first technology change
Mm.
that we've gone through in our life. Like some people like me, I started in the mainframe days. But all that being said, like,
Mm.
what are people thinking right now?
Mm. Thank you. No, I think it's important that we do not forget the core of leadership, because, like, for me, the core is still so true, or maybe even more true, that what we need to do now is to create clarity, be clear with expectations, like maybe even more than before. And I do think like that is something we need to be super clear about. Like, we now expect you to learn how to do this. We now expect you to transfer into this future. Like the clarity in expectations, the clarity in the direction. And so how we are reasoning around it is like, you still need to be very talented in like as a senior developer in understanding. So even if you are telling AI to program for you, you still need to be super talented in the like
Yeah.
architecture piece and what like the rules you're giving. But of course, like the motivation and your drive is something else. So what we are talking about, which I think all all companies needs to talk about, is the ones who will survive are the ones who are still customer obsessed, super focused on the needs of the customers. And if we have developers who are super obsessed about the needs of the customers or the pains and the opportunities for our customers and how we solve them, then you are more obsessed about the solution than the way towards the solution in a way. So I think that, so that's what I mean with like, let's not forget about leadership and what we already know: clarity, goals, direction, and also like customers care about the outcome and not the way there, the outcome and the impact for the customers. And that's where everything starts. But for sure, the role and what you're doing every day will change. We also talk about other things that will not change. For example, who will win? Product market fit. You need to have, like, it doesn't matter how much you produce if no one wants it, if no one understands it, if it's not simple. So I do think we focus a lot of that, like the simplicity. Do someone need this? Yeah, those kind of things. Yeah.
I want to go
Anna,
back to, oh, sorry, Jason. You want to go?
I was just going to say, I want to go to Michelle's question. So did you see Michelle's question, Jess?
No, please repeat.
I did. I was going
Maybe
to go there myself because I like something you
go
said.
ahead.
Really quick. You said something about clarity, and then you said, and we expect you to transfer yourself into the future. I love the way you said that. And it kind of ties into Michelle's question. The biggest pushback I get on all of this is that we expect people to come with knowledge, acquired skills that we've already vetted them for. We put them into jobs where all of that is a match, the highest degree match possible. And so we're sort of like, we really have to let go of that way of thinking, and we have to accept like balls of clay, moldable clay. And I think the companies that survive are going to be those that have learning cultures. And they give time and space and permission and resources to learn on the job, or you won't survive. Because to Michelle's point, people could spend forever. We could spend every day just learning and upskilling. And as you said, transferring ourselves into the future. You have to create space for that. And most people say, I don't have time to do this. I have a job. Well, guess what? Your job is at 70% risk of automation inside of 2 years, depending on what you do. So you better create time for people to have their own agency and have their own wherewithal to transfer themselves into your future, or you're going to keep hitting a brick wall.
Mm. No, I'm so learning is one of my big passion areas. So I have a lot of thoughts there. So first of all, I mean, if you have been working in learning development, we talked about this 70-20-10. Like, okay, 10% formal training, 20% like peer and
Yeah.
peer stuff, 20% on the job learning. But I think one thing we've missed in that is that if that is true, that means that leaders needs to be educators.
Mm,
And
yeah.
how much have we put into that?
Right.
Not much, I think. And why I'm super passionate about this is that I see the impact at Mentimeter, at my own job, every day when leaders understand that part of their job is to educate.
Yeah.
And that's nothing, it's not that they are doing trainings. You're educating through your team meetings, in your retros, in your one-to-ones, in your like you're building it into the routines, in your department, in your town halls. You need to look at them as this is where we can make people understand something deeper and then apply what they just learned. So but like if we're saying that the job has to happen or learning has to happen on the job, we also need to say that leaders needs to know how to teach.
Oh, I love that.
Wow, these comments are amazing. So Mark, I love that Mark's here. First of all, I love Mark in general, but absolutely a learning culture critical for employee attraction. I think new generations, a lot of them will skip higher education, which by the way is interesting. It's an interesting topic as I'm touring schools. Um, you know, and upskilling is going to be key, and it needs to be part of that culture, which is interesting. I love how John just said, "Learn to earn."
I love it.
Leah said, which I think is really interesting. What happened to actually having homework time at home to learn your job? Um, and
I call it work. So instead of saying homework, because it sounds like something you need to do at home,
Yeah,
I say you get work.
I love that.
so Anna, so with the pace of change today and how fast technology is evolving and things like that, like, do you is the expectation that people do some learning on their own? I mean, that's a very blunt statement, but I mean, not on company time. But like,
Uh-huh.
I don't think enough people realize that they have to be learning always on their own
Mm.
and not
Mm.
waiting for something to come from corporate
Yeah.
training or corporate learning. Because I think if we do that, I think those companies are going to struggle.
Mm. I, I do think that you shouldn't wait for instructions. You shouldn't wait for the company to upskill you. I do think you need to be in the driver's seat yourself, and you need to really like because it's there. Uh, of course, we need to, as an organization, we need to make sure that the conditions are there. We need to make sure that they have Claude or ChatGPT, something. I mean, we need to pay for the subscriptions. I mean, we need to create the infrastructure for it to happen. But I do think this is also something where you can be much more clear with expectations. But then I'm a bit old-fashioned when it comes to I believe so much in working smart and not working hard. So I have a bit of a like challenge with this one. And I think that is also, you talked about the end game before, Jess.
Mhm.
I feel that I'm a bit living the end game, like
Mm.
in Sweden. Like we have our 6 weeks of vacation. We have our nature that is still
Yeah.
very like untouched. We have a lot of time with our like families. We have a lot of like an infrastructure that supports life, where we feel safe, and we have like apparently 1 year, 1.5 year, like we still produce unicorns like Spotify, Klarna, Lovable, so I'm not sure that I think we only have one life, we only have one
Yeah.
planet. I do think our ambition needs to make this work. I think we're fooling ourselves otherwise. But it's a system, so we need to fight that, I think.
You are,
So
we sing the same song. I completely agree that this product, this race, like we're so far we're measuring AI success by how highly efficient and productive we can make people as machines. And I think we're just about to have a breakthrough moment where we figure out that the idea is not for us to labor like machines. If we can just get on the other side of this hump and talk about value and productivity, like I think we're close to answering the question around what is all of this for and what is the end game differently. And yes, I think Europeans have this much better figured out than we do in America.
But there's something interesting because now we have been so focused on creating so that artificial intelligence become more like us, more like humans. Like, and
Mm.
now they have reached a stage where they are quite close,
Yeah.
So we've been so focused on that. But the risk now is that it turns. So now we will try to make ourselves more as machines because that becomes the new what great looks like.
Yeah.
And I do see it more like not more like we need to figure out how to work together. We
yeah,
they are not they are actually very they I don't know they are
They, whoever
very
they is.
far from human because the only thing they do is repeat language
Yes.
in a very smart way, in a very smart way and very
Yeah.
quick way. But they don't do any actual thinking in the
Yeah.
way we do thinking.
Yeah.
Uh, and I heard like it was the big tech conference a few weeks ago in Sweden, and then someone said like we're only a few years away from where 70% of all the data in the world will be synthetic data, basically
Yeah.
data
mhm.
produced by other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that I think, and that's why I believe that like the human data, what do we think, feel, do, will become so strategic and important. Because like if you create your decisions and everything on like the synthetic data, and then like you get like synthetic trust, like it's like what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And
Mm,
I love that. I mean, and I love what John just said. I love what I think we need curiosity departments versus learning departments.
Mm.
I
love it.
love that. I love that framing. It's kind of interesting. A lot of I talk a lot about my 21-year-old who's well down the road, way advanced than me in a lot of this futuristic, well, not futuristic, nowistic AI stuff. And I have a curiosity session with him every night.
Mm.
It keeps me connected with him. And even though he calls me dumb and old fashioned and things like that, like I have to be curious.
Awesome.
And I think that I love that. I love the fact that you said that, John. Because it's I so agree with it. It's so hard to push static content like that without the ability to question and what does it mean to me? And I think by the way, Anna, I don't want to not talk about Mentimeter here. Mentimeter does a great job of this. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
from a tools standpoint, I mean, you wrote the book back in 2020, which the HR book of the year. Congratulations on that. About how to work remotely right
Mm.
after COVID. How to facilitate and how to lead sessions in a remote way. And Mentimeter is a great tool for that.
Mm,
But I don't think enough people are using Mentimeter to drive curiosity. And I
mm.
think it's a great I think it's, I mean, not to take over Mentimeter marketing, but I think it would be a great
Please do.
message. I think it would be a great message to get people to do
Yeah.
like curiosity contests.
Mm.
Because I think
Ah.
that there's not enough of that.
No, but and I think so. I mean, the core of Mentimeter when it started, it's a tool to ask to ask questions. So it
Hmm.
helps the leader to instead of thinking I have all the answers or I need to have all the answers, I instead ask the question. I trust the group. I'm interested in the collective
Mm.
intelligence. And I think it's so interesting when you ask a question. So I mean, if you have been working in coaching, in facilitation, you know all about the power of asking questions because suddenly you have a power switch. And then I, as a person who got a question, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel valued. Someone is
Mm.
interested in my competence. My
Mhm.
status is rising. I feel relatedness. Like there are so many human needs that gets rewarded just by asking one question. And I
Oh, I
think
love that.
that is like one of the power of Mentimeter as well. Like a lot of people use it like they sometimes internally we say it's shallow usage, but I don't think it's so like a word cloud, for example, shallow usage. But I don't think it is because it depends what question you're asking.
Hmm.
So like you
Yeah.
can go so deep just by asking one question and a word cloud, an open-ended or a poll, or when you're doing a checkout and you really get people to
Totally.
open up if it's a sensitive topic, or just like now when pressure is on. I mean, change, AI, globalization, constant competition, and we have all the things going on in the world, in the political landscape. The pressure is on, and everyone are just so. I mean, it's not that they don't care, it's just too much. If
Yeah,
we can then
overwhelmed.
just, we in our meeting, in our team meeting, in our town hall, whatever it is, in our training session, just leave a bit space for some humanity.
Yes. Yep.
Mm.
It's so important. And I think that, so I do think leaders can improve in seeing themselves a bit more as teachers and educators, but I also think that we need to upskill within this like facilitation techniques that like I think actually management consultants, you're very good at this because it's part of your like skill set. And you have trainings.
Facilitation.
Yeah, facility exactly. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure that that is a very like common skill all over.
I think you're
No,
right, actually. And I don't think we give it enough credit for being a skill, that can be learned and refined and practiced. I love that you've built that in uh, to your product a little, like built in facilitation, pro tips, guidance, coaching, because it's
Exactly.
not,
You get,
it's not enough to ask a question and get an answer. Like, then what? And
mm,
like, what do I do with this?
mm. And
and
of
and,
course,
and just
we
really,
also have AI in. So I mean, now you can just
Yeah.
prompt a mentee, like, "Hey, I'm going to have a team check-in," and then you get the whole thing, like
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
yeah. I mean, once again, really quickly, for those of you, and once again, this isn't a commercial for Menti by any means, but I mean, it can be. But as someone who has been a long time Mentimeter user and now using it, in different ways now that I'm teaching this class, like what you just said, Anna, is so important. The influx or the infusion of AI into it has
Mm.
been amazing to me because
Oh,
I use it all the time to come up with different questions for my students that I should be asking that I don't think to ask.
mm,
And
Hmm.
it's fascinating to me the number of people like, oh, we love the Mentimeter part of the class the best because it actually makes us think. And like the true reason it makes them think is because of most of the suggestions that make them think. I wish I could take credit for that. Are because of what the AI inside Mentimeter actually
mm,
gives me to prompt them with the question.
mm,
So I love the fact that they say it's their favorite part,
mm,
and it gets them to think. John, I want to really quickly. I love John's point. Also, I just want to make sure we call it out. And I use Mentimeter for this
Mhm.
also. I just want to talk about this for a second. People with answers are historians. People with questions bring us into the future. I mean,
I'm
this
gonna
is
roll. John, we're
this
gonna
is
start making t-shirts with
yeah,
everything
this
you
is
say.
this is our new quote agent, Jess, John. But
love it.
the one of the things I think that's interesting about Mentimeter, and I was told this by one of my students, is that he doesn't feel comfortable. Jess, I know you talked to this person when you came down to speak.
Mm.
He said he doesn't feel comfortable asking questions by raising his hand because he's not a good public speaker.
Mm,
And what the Mentimeter part of the class does is lets him ask questions in a
Mm.
mm,
safe way that's anonymous, that he doesn't have to get nervous about the public speaking part of it. And
mm,
and I think I loved that part of it when he said that, because I was like, wow. Because I mean, I leave the questions anonymous. I don't want to know who's asking them, but I want them to be able to feel free. And
yeah.
Mentimeter does that. And a lot of people, back to the humility part that Brad, curiosity requires humility. A lot
Mm,
of times I want to be safe in the
Mm.
humility part. And
Great.
Mentimeter does a great job. Once again, this isn't a commercial for Mentimeter, but because I use it so often for this, it's an amazing tool to drive humility.
yeah. Yeah, and I think what's also interesting, like a bit on your point, is that I think the hard part with being a, like a leader is that you and or a, a human a person, you have
Mhm.
you have your intentions, you have things you want to be better at, and you have your intentions. But then you have your old habits. And then there's a gap between your intention and your habits. And what I actually really see happens is that, okay, leaders want to be more inclusive, they want to be more curious, they want to listen better, and like, because they know that that will create psychological safety and it will be like the conditions for innovation, and they then will get like the speed and from that basically. But they also will get better solutions because of the knowledge that they invite to the room. But then that's your intention. But then you have your old habits. So what happens when you start to use Menti is that it's almost like the tool is forcing you to start with new habits. So you're not thinking that much about it. You're just starting, and suddenly you're asking more questions. And then suddenly you're perceived as more curious. And then suddenly you're getting better ideas and solutions and better buy-in and commitment. And so it's almost like it happens. I think that's where tech can really be powerful, when tech changes our behavior. And that is also what we design for, like the simplicity and like the change of a behavior, basically. So we hear this a lot, what you're saying. It helps them to be more curious, inclusive, and then they are perceived in another way, and they
Mhm.
connect better.
So
Mhm.
Anna, one more thing I want to ask, and this isn't the loaded question that I usually end with, Jess. So I'll let you. I'll say that you, Jess, you can answer the last question.
This is
But
me looking at the time like, oh boy, Jason.
no, and it might
He
be.
likes
So
to pull
Brad
the
said,
pin out of the grenade at the very end. Like, what do you
Oh, what
think
is this?
of? Like,
no, this is a hot button for me, and Brad said something that triggered it for me.
Mm,
He said human capabilities, imagination, creativity, courage, empathy, curiosity. Deloitte has been putting them in the talent report for years. And my statement here, I just want to make sure it's on record, has nothing to do with Deloitte. But I'm so sick of these freaking reports.
mm,
I don't see us putting these into action. And
yeah.
I'm and I'm really asking you, Anna, as an HR leader and as a CXO, like,
Mhm.
how do we change the game here and
Yeah,
start putting these into our practices on a
yeah.
day-to-day basis instead of, hey, sign me up for a class on curiosity.
Mm, I hear you. No, but I think it's all about tying it to the end goal, always. I think that is where we do a mistake. We say that it's soft skill, we put them over here, and then we have hard skills over here. And but I mean, all leaders, we are here to drive results, a goal, an outcome, and we need to put everything into that story. I think that's where we are losing the narrative, because the end. So okay, the end goal is not curiosity.
Hmm.
The end goal is still the end goal.
Yeah.
However, what I love, why I said we only have one life and one planet, is that there are win-win-win-wins here.
Mm.
Like, so you also get engagement, psychological safety, well-being. You also get all of that, but you can still be focused on what I'm here to achieve. Um, so I have
Yeah,
seen, yeah,
and to me, Anna, you have to give people that stage, because this
yeah,
takes practice. It's not something you go to a class, you check the box, it's compliance. I took the curiosity training and I'm done. Like, you have to embed it into your daily flow. And I think
exactly,
that that's where I'm begging leaders to keep that in mind right
yeah,
now, because I see it as the biggest leadership gap.
100%, 100%. Um, And I think our leadership manifesto at Mentimeter is called Heart and Bravery.
Mm.
So it is like it is this thing, care and challenge, heart and bravery. Like it all needs to be at the same time.
Oh, I love that.
um, yeah.
I love that so much. I'm so happy you were able to be our guest today. I've been honored to hear some of the updates coming out of your team and directionally in terms of where you're thinking with your product. And you really are one of the more forward-leaning I can't even call you a software provider. Like I have a hard time even saying that with your solution. It's so accessible, it's so natural and intuitive. It facilitates like just human stuff, like asking questions and getting answers and having facilitated empathetic conversations. It's hard for me to even call that software, which is a massive compliment. Like most solutions would aspire to be something that feels so natural and so human that you don't even want to call it software. So whatever
And
it took to get to that, like just huge congratulations on your vision
I
and
mean,
execution.
we have a fantastic team of 400 people that are doing this for you.
Yes.
and just before Anna leaves, our kids would tell us we're glazing Mentimeter right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
I just want to be careful. Let's glaze Anna for a second,
No,
because what's most important is it takes people to make software. It takes
Totally.
people to make a company. It takes people to drive a culture. And the fact that you're CEO of the organization, and you move it into the people role, and the fact that you're doing the things that you're doing with your heart on your sleeve, that's what's making the product successful. So let's forget the product for a second, and let's show the love to you as an amazing leader in the space.
you.
So
For
thank you so
sure.
much for joining, Jess. I'll let you close.
Well, I
Next
think
week,
that
Jess, you know what next week is? It's Friday the 13th.
again, we have another Friday the 13th. We love Friday the 13th around here. And we still have, I keep like counting down to our 300th episode because I thought our 300th episode was on the 27th of the month, which it is. It's just March 27th, not February 27th. So massive thanks to everybody in the community who continues to grow and learn and be curious with us, who keeps coming into these conversations. It has been an absolute ride. And I absolutely love that this is so Friday the 13th means it's our 6-year anniversary, Jason, and then our 300th episode. So just big thanks to
Exactly.
the community because we have a lot of OGs in here who hang with us every Friday, and we still have new people discover us every single week. So thank you, Anna, for your heart and your bravery and your leadership. Thanks for being our guest, and I hope everybody has an amazing weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take
Enjoy
care.
your weekend. Bye bye.